This is braised chicken with mushroom gravy, and what I've got is some chicken thighs, boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and I'm just trying to cut off some of the excess fat. I'm not digging for fat, I'm not looking for fat, I'm just sort of getting it off the sides. Part of what makes chicken thighs so delicious and tender is the fat that braises off if you cook it long enough, so you don't actually eat this fat. But if you like chicken breast, this recipe can also be made with chicken breast, but you will cook it for less time. You'll throw the chicken breast back in the sauce later for maybe like 5 minutes until the sauce is done. So anyway, we're going to do all these, take off the excess fat on all these thighs, and then I've got the salt and pepper and paprika and thyme mixture here, and I'm just going to mix that up and spread it over both sides of the chicken thighs. Then we move over to a skillet. It's a 12-inch nonstick skillet, which I think is very nice and forgiving for chicken thighs. It fits about 2 pounds of chicken thighs or 8 thighs. Put some olive oil in it, and it's at medium-high heat. It's okay that these are clustered. There's a lot of fat. It'll cook off, and it'll cook in the fat, and hopefully give it a nice crust. So you're going to sear it on one side for about 4 minutes. If it's not, you can sear it harder. You can sear it lighter. It will affect the color of your sauce. But either way will be delicious. So I've got sort of a light sear here. I'm going to put it right back on that chicken plate that the raw chicken was on, because that chicken has to go back in the sauce for 25 to 30 minutes, so that's fine. So I'm throwing the butter in. I'm going to turn down the heat on this a little bit since it's a little hot, and I'm going to throw in the onions and mushrooms. And we get a little bit of salt, because salt helps bring out the water out of vegetables faster. And that cooks for about 7 minutes. Try to get, if you want to play with the sear on the mushrooms too, but you cook all the liquid off. You don't want any liquid in it, but you do need a little oil for that garlic to fry in. So I got this little divot of garlic. It's going to cook for 1 to 2 minutes or until it's fragrant. And then I'm going to mix it all around and then add the flour. So at this point, see there, right there, I've got a little crispiness, and that's always like just a nice textural thing. But if you just make sure the liquid is absorbed. You don't need the crispiness. Throw in the flour, and that's clumpy, and then you throw in the tomato paste, and it's really clumpy, and it looks like a hot mess. But that's what it's supposed to look like. And then we're going to slowly add in the chicken broth. So you slowly add it in, and you whisk it in, or you can use a fork or whatever you like to avoid the clumping from the flour, and that's just makes it a smoother gravy, basically. So I'm just going to take my time doing this. So I threw back in the rosemary, and I threw back in the chicken, and I'm going to bring that to a boil, and then reduce the heat and simmer it covered for about 25 minutes. Now taste it. It's a little thick. It'll thicken up as it cools down. It'll thicken up with time. And add salt to taste. And this gravy is pretty red. I added a little bit more tomato paste than normal, and that's going to make it a little redder and maybe a little tiny bit sweeter. So you can play with the amount of tomato paste if you like. But as it sits, it will brown up, and you'll have this beautiful gravy, and you can serve that over rice or noodles, mashed potatoes, mashed sweet potatoes. But you can find the recipe at eatsimplefood.com.